Alright, what is up, Fully Charged TCG? Damien here, and I am bringing you guys my pudding deck profile for OP08 pudding. I had someone ask me at a locals yesterday if I had a good list for this, and I was like, I think so. I've been working on one, and this is kind of what I've come up with. I'm going to take you through my train of thoughts here and kind of tell you what I was thinking and the reason why I think this is what it is. So if you didn't know what pudding does, pudding is a for life 5K leader. Ah, she disappeared. Let me just generate her back up. My bad. She is a for life 5K leader. She has the when attacking, you may turn the top two life cards of your life face up. Add one Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as rested. So basically, you swing with her, you activate ability, and you flip your top two life face up. You ramp one, and yeah, it's really, really, really good. So right now, what I'm running as far as Big Mom goes is I have 4 of the Charlotte Pudding Searchers. The main reason behind this is it's going to find you everything you need in your deck. So yeah, you kind of have to run it. I'm also running 3 copies of We Are Going to Claim the One Piece. This is a event searcher. So this looks at the top 5 instead of top 4, which is what Pudding looks at. And you can grab you a Big Mom Pirates or Animal Kingdom Pirates, and we are running a pretty good size of Big Mom Pirates kind of, package here because pudding, So what we have going on is we have 4 copies of Flampe. Everybody should know what Flampe does. Really good 2K, really good if you need to take the top card of your life. If it's like face up and you're needing to ramp again with pudding, you can take it and then swing and then ramp, because you have to have 2 face down lives to flip. If one of your top 2 lives are face up, you will not be able to flip it. So you will not be able to ramp. So we're running 4 copies of Charlotte Pudding. Right now, I'm testing out 2 Parasparrow because I believe that Parasparrow is a pretty decent card. I love getting bodies out of triggers, and also the search does come in handy once in a while. So I'm running 2 copies of that. I am running 4 copies of Tin Mom. If you know, you know, you know. If you don't know how good Tin Mom is, yeah, you need to go back and watch all the tournaments in OPO 4 and 5 and kind of see really what people thought of 10 Cost Mom. Or no, 3 and 4, right? Yeah, I said 3 and 4, I believe. Basically, from the time she came out, she's been really good. 10 Cost Mom's great. So 4 of those. I am then running 4 of the new 6 cost Charlotte Katakuri. This allows you to flip one of your face life up, face down, the top card of your life. If it's face up, you flip it face down. You ramp 1 in active. It is a 6 for 7 ramp to active that helps you get your leader effect back online, and then you ramp 1 in active. And it has 1K counter. This is amazing. So essentially what you do is you go first. On your 3 Dawn turn, you can or on your first turn, you just play a Searcher, hopefully get you a Katakuri. On your 3 Dawn turn, you swing, ramp 1 to go to 4, play out, a lot of times, I play out Viola, because Viola allows you to flip all your life back to face down. I run 3 copies of her. Now you have your blocker on board. Next turn, you're at 6 Dawn. You can then swing with your leader, ramp to 7, drop the Katakuri, ramp to 8. On your following turn, you will be at 10 Cost Mom. It is absolutely nuts. So we run 3 Viola for that, helping you get that pulled off. I'm running right now 2 of the 9-drop Charlotte Linlands. What she does is on play, you can Dawn -1 and trash 1 card from your hand, and then you can set the top card of your deck in your life, and you can set one of your opponent's 6 cost or less battle cards in their life, bottom or top, face up, which is really good into Black Yellow Luffy, because you can just put one of their cards face up, swing into it, they won't be able to get it back, it gets bottom decked. Also, the Dawn -1 doesn't really matter, because most of the time you are playing her on, if you got a kind of a weird curve, 9, and then you're going down to 8, and the next turn you're going to be at 10, or you're playing her on 10, and you're just going to go back to 10. So the Dawn -1 is literally shouldn't even be on the card, because it legitimately does not matter. Unless you're playing cards that benefit from Dawn minusing, which there are some, but I'm not currently running. So that's just here nor there. Let's see, what else do we got? Now I am running 4 of the Sanji, because he is searchable off of Pudding. He is a blocker, and he is a 2K. So that is really, really good. For that Sanji, we are running. I want to get to this. We're running 4 Beige because you need Beige. We all know what it does. We're running 4 of You're the One That Should Disappear. This is just really good. And then for our final 2 top end pieces, we're running 2 Katakuri. He's searchable. It's You could in theory run 4 of the 8 cost katas or 4 of the 9 cost moms, but I'm right now enjoying 2 2. They both kind of have their purpose, and I kind of like both of them. I'm running as my kind of tech right now. I'm running 2 Rocket Luffy. Good trigger, good card just to play when you need it. I like it a lot. I'm running 4 Ace. A lot of people are on Ace. I wouldn't really call that my spice, but that is kind of like the completing your top end. Really, really good. My kind of tech card that I haven't seen everybody running, but I see some people kind of dabbling around with is the Bon Clay Mr. 2. Now, the reason for this is you really want to consistently ramp. You need to consistently ramp because you want to, especially if you're going first, you want to ramp and get to that big mom early, which means that you're gonna need to ramp, 3 times. Your first time with pudding on your 3 down turn, and then you need to ramp twice on your following turn. So Bon Clay allows you to do that. You can swing with pudding, ramp, and then drop Bon Clay and ramp. And then you can still play Viola if you want to and things like that after playing the Bon Clay because you'll still have active Dawn and established blockers. And then on top of that, when Bon Clay comes down, because of his ability to just copy any power level on the board, you can just let him sit and they have to address it. And the thing about this deck is because you get the 10 moms so fast and you have Ace and Katakuri and all that top end, if you just drop Bon Clay and just kind of let him chill, like you don't just immediately attack with him, if they don't address him basically the turn after you play him, which not every deck can do because you're ramping quicker than them, so you have to remember that. Then what ends up happening is you just kind of have this Bon Clay chilling on the board while you're dropping your big 10, 8, and 9 drops, and you just get this sneak attack where it's like if they play anything big, you're just going to copy with Bon Clay. And if they don't deal with Bon Clay, that's just going to happen. But at the same time, it becomes much harder to deal with Bon Clay plus a 10 cost mom. Deal with Bon Clay plus like a Katakuri. It can become a little bit more complicated, and then you can just swing through his Bon Clay. And then worst case scenario, he is a 1K combo. Most of the time, I'm playing him once throughout the game. Maybe if I have a turn where I don't have a big boss in my hand, but I have like a Bon Clay, a Viola, and like, a Parasparrow, I'll just start dropping and go like little guy spam, and then on the following turn, just go really wide. But yeah, he in my opinion is a really good 4 of in this deck, and I don't think I would take him out. So far in my playtesting, I've played a lot of games with this deck, and I really, really, really like this version of this deck. Cards that I would consider very flexible is definitely the Parasparrows. You don't really need them. You could take them out. Sometimes they're a little clunky. You could definitely drop Rocket Luffy. That's not really here nor there. Bon Clay technically is a flex spot, but I don't really believe he is. I believe you need him. You should be playing him, and just in my opinion, until I find something better, I think I will be playing him. Yeah, I guess some of the numbers, like you could run more 9 cost Linlins, more 8 cost Katakuris, depending on how you feel. You could add a 4th copy of Viola. I'd be totally fine with that. You could go 1 less maybe on the event searcher, but consistency is super important. So you could go 1 less, but you could also go 1 more on the event searcher, and I would have no problem with either. But yeah, this is the deck profile. I am gonna launch up some games. Alright, so I actually have quite a little bit of gameplay when it comes to pudding, but I thought a pudding versus pudding mirror match would be kind of fun to start the video off with. So that's what I chose to do here. As you can see, this is right now our opening hand. We have a Katakuri in hand, which just makes everything okay. And then we top deck the pudding. That's the main card you're only getting for, is the Katakuri. We got the pudding, so we play it. We take a card, and here we go. We pass turn. Now, I remember this game, and it was incredibly fun to play, which is kind of weird to say because a lot of times mirror matches can be a bit boring. But I found the pudding mirror match to be kind of fun. He starts off with a 6K swing. Ramps, I'm kind of looking at his life. I'm like, cool, we're going to claim the one piece. That'll let him be able to draw. Then he goes ahead and violas. I'm like, okay, well, I'm on curve right now pretty well. I'm curving out pretty decent. So I know that I have quite a little bit that I can do here. So I go ahead and start off with a ramp swing. That's going to ramp me one card. I go from 4 to 5. He blocks out with viola. I say, you know what? Let me drop my own viola here. And I play that, flip all my life face down. Now, I will admit, I think a better play would have been just to swing 5. Let him block if he wanted to, and then just play like maybe double viola. But I remember later on in this game that I do use that second viola, and it is extremely helpful. So I'm glad I didn't make that play, even though at the time that's what I was thinking. He drops his 6 cost Linland. He is playing cards out of the new starter deck, and I am not playing those cards because, you know, I'm playing an OPO 8. He's playing an 8.5. He drops that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm at a good amount of Dawn. This is one of those situations where I don't technically need the category just because I've ramped so much already that next turn I should be at 10 with already being on the second Dawn curve. But I kind of don't have too many plays here. So I'm like, okay, you know, I can make some decisions on how I want to go about this. And I'm kind of mathing out my Dawn because I'm going, okay, I have 8. I'm at 10 next turn. I don't need to play it. Let me look at my opponent's life with Viola. And I just kind of get a glance. I'm like, okay, he has no combo power. There's 0 combo power, 0 triggers coming out of life. And that is brilliant information to know. So just remember that in the mirror match. Viola can be super, super crucial. And you can just look at your opponent's life and go from there. He does a 7k swing. I block out. Because why not? I have 0 need to take that hit. I might as well block out again. Get both violas out of here. That's why I save my violas. He kind of preemptively violaed. And I don't think a lot of pudding lists are running Thunderbolt. So he didn't need to in any way, shape, or form block my first attack with viola. So yeah, just a thought. Save your viola blocks. If they want to Thunderbolt you, that's fine. I'm kind of debating how I want to go about this because I can 10 cost Linland, but I can also 9 cost Linland. And 9 cost Linland allows me to add their Linland back into their life, which, you know, you might be like, oh, you're giving your opponent life. But I know what their life is. You have to remember that. I know they have no combo power. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put it there because I know you have no combo power coming out of life. So I'm going to build a big board and be able to attack you. And that's kind of the strategy I'm going for at this point. I poke for 6 because I'm like, let's see if he'll take this life or if he'll give me combo power. And he does give me combo power. Notice something here, guys. I don't swing with the Parasparrow. I'm wanting to build a big board and just get cards out of his hand. So I take my life that I gained because it could have been a trigger. He 10 cost moms me. Oh no, not really, because, you know, look at my board. It's already huge. And I can just 10 cost mom right back. And I have so many swings. The advantage is drastically in my favor. And, you know, I'm not really worried about it because I know that he has to be able to survive solely based upon what he has in his hand. So I'm sitting here contemplating, like, okay, let's poke again. Okay, at this point, I can just pressure him down. I'm going to poke again because I know that next turn, he can't drop another 10 cost mom and do anything to my board. So I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, you know, I'm chill. And then he loads up 8 and swings at life. He doesn't go after my board, which seems absolutely crazy to me. And hey, look right there what we have at the bottom of our life. You're the one that should disappear. That's why you run 4 copies of it. So I'm just kind of sitting here going, dude, it doesn't matter what you do here. I'm gonna win. But he goes ahead and does that, and I'm like, oh, I can trash my top card, or I can trash 2 cards out of my hand. I choose to trash the 2 cards out of my hand, and here's the reason why. Essentially, it's like he swung at me with 6 or 7. Yeah, no, with 6, and I gave up to 1k, so combo out of the attack. That's the equivalent of it. I would rather save that trigger because that trigger is an extra life. And then he just goes after my big mom, and I'm kind of sitting there going, I can't do nothing about this, but I kind of want to psych him out, so I think about it for a minute. And then I just drop another 10 cost mom. And because I'm going, okay, I get a 5K, a 5K, and a 12K. And even if you survive it, you have to hit me 3 times or 4 times because I'm going to get to heal 1 at the end. And that's going to give me a third life. And then you got to hit me a 4th time. And you can't do that. And unless you're like a rush ace. And then you're not really buffing up your numbers. So I'm pretty confident, that, I can swing out, I can combo out of a 5 and take a rush ace and the other 3 attacks just fine, so pretty much chilling here. I think he's like, what do I do? I'm gonna swing 14 and I'm just like, you know what? I can actually just get out of this if I want to. And that basically just like ruins everything for him. I think he was kind of hoping maybe be able to clear a couple bodies this turn and maybe drop like a Katakuri and heal. But yeah, that's not gonna work for him. So just kind of feel like I outplayed him and also probably got a better hand and curve than him. Plus, that's you're the one that should disappear. Trigger just chilling at my bottom is just so scary. Sometimes with pudding, giving them the information sucks because they get to see the top 2 cards you flip over. Other times it's like a swing at me if you dare kind of situation. He finally just gives up. Here we have a Black Yellow Luffy matchup. I was really excited to jump into this one. I was like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to play this one? I'm sitting here waiting on him to choose what he's going to do. I'm holding right now 2 aces. You're the one that should disappear, and a Bon Clay. Honestly, I am okay with his hand. I'm okay with his hand because of the simple fact that having 2 rush aces is really good, and I have the Bon Clay, which is going to help me to get that 3rd ramp. Because I can swing here for 6, but I believe I just swing for 5. But essentially, I can Viola, flip my top 2 life back to being face down. And did I just pass? Oh, I did just pass. Okay, I guess I just passed. I was like, I'm going to starve him, which is typically the right strategy. I've played so many Black Yellow Luffy games, I don't remember what I've done in all of them. He swings 7, I take. I'm like, okay, let's see here. Now I'm just at 5 Dawn. I can play the Bon Clay, though, to go to 6. That's what I do. I can technically swing to ramp to 7. So that's what I go ahead and do. Flip my top 2 life. I'm like, okay, I have we're going to claim the 1 piece, so I know I'm going to get to search again if he swings at me. And then I'm going to Viola to flip everything down. Something that I've noticed, I saw this in one of my games where I actually Viola'd, and my opponent, I think, forgot about what I had in life. So if your opponent isn't paying attention and like really like taking mental notes, they might forget what you have in your life and then still lose off a trigger, because that happened in a different game. Not this one, but in a different one, which is pretty crazy. And I'm just kind of like chilling, like thinking what's going on. He's just playing out this huge, massive board. He gets rid of my Bon Clay. I'm like, yeah, that's smart. He swings 5. I'm like, okay. Boom, he just gives up. I have no idea why. I wanted to show you guys this one just because I thought it was hilarious. He just randomly gives up. And if anybody knows why, please explain it to me. And now we're going into our final game against Red Blue Marco. This is going to be the final one for this video, guys. I go ahead and start off with a One Piece Searcher. We're going to claim the One Piece. And I whiff. And it made me upset because if I had played the pudding, I could have grabbed a Sanji. But it was what it was. A lot of times I like to event search first and hold on to the combo power. Now my hand is a pudding, a Bon Clay. And so with that being the case, with having a pudding and a Bon Clay, I know I get another shot at finding Katakuri. And also Bon Clay is going to allow me to stay on curve next turn. As long as I find some way to get my life flipped face down. So whether that be him attacking me twice or what have you. I go ahead and take a 10 cost mom off that pudding search. I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous about like, crap, like I needed to find a Katakuri and I didn't. He swings 6. I don't trigger effect because I kind of wanted him to swing at me again, and he does. That was a huge mistake, and never do that against a pudding player. I did get luckily, I did top deck the Katakuri anyway, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. But in a normal situation, if I didn't drop top deck that Katakuri, you know, I would have had no way to flip my life face down, and I would have just been in a rough situation. He honestly could have just chosen not to attack me at all, and it might have been a smart move. But I also understand that's kind of dangerous in a deck against a deck that can gain life. So I know you do kind of have to pressure him a little bit. He does another 6K swing. I'm like, okay, this is an easy 2K. I'm going to go ahead and 2K because I have 10 cost mom. He drops an ace. He swings again. I'm like, okay, this is another 2K. And I'm going to do that. And then I'm like, okay, what do I want to do here? I can drop 10 cost mom. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a swinging at ace. Because if I can get some cards out of his hand, that's like best situation. And if not, then it's okay. Because no matter what, we're going to be taking a life with 10 cost mom. So we're not like in a position where we like have to pressure him. So we go ahead and swing 7. He thinks a pretty decent amount about this one, whether or not he wants to go ahead and take. And finally, he is deciding what I want to do here still. And yeah, still waiting for him to decide. I was like about ready to I started typing here. I'm like, bro, you have to make a decision. You either have it or you don't. You either let him go or you don't. And I just hit him with the question mark. It's like, bro, really? And then he just combos way out of it. Made no sense to dump that many cards. If you were that clogged up, let him die. I 10 cost mom, crit a life, and then just be able to pass. So guys, I will say one thing, like try to have some type of etiquette on the sim. Like even with the new chess timers they kind of have going on, you still have a lot of time where you can just sit and stare. Don't be one of those people that does that. Have some type of etiquette. I'm going to move on past that now. He's going to go ahead and swing 5. And I'm like, okay, I can just get out of this pretty easy. Honestly, at this point, I feel kind of like I'm steamrolling him. I actually go ahead and combo out of this as well. Because I'm like, I'm going to keep all my attackers. And then I top deck another 10 mom. And then I'm like, okay, this is where it kind of feels just a little bit not fair. Because, you know, I have 10 mom. So I go ahead and swing 10 into his ace. Because I'm like, okay, this will most likely clear it. And I just want to absolutely grieve my opponent because of his really long decision. So I'm like, I'm just going to swing into your ace and take it out. And then he still contemplates it. I'm like, bro, you're just trying to get me to quit at this point. You have no way out of this. If you have 2-2Ks, he dies. If you have the 3 cost event, he dies. You don't have any Dawn standing. No matter what you do, he dies. And this is what I'm talking about sim etiquette. Just move on. Like, I really felt like he wanted me to scoop just so he could take a screenshot of him winning and like post it on Facebook. So then I just crit another life and pass. At this point, I no longer just want to win this game, but I want to absolutely crush this man's soul. So drop another 10 cost mom. Just to remind him that, you know, that's what's going on. He's kind of contemplating what he wants to do here. Honestly, at this point, there's nothing he can really do to bring himself back into this game. He does Sanji into another copy of Rayleigh, which is pretty good in a normal situation. But when you only have 3 cards in your hand and you're this far behind, you only have 1 life, there's not much you can do to get around this. I go ahead and just take it because there's no reason for me not to. I know that this is game. And I'm like, okay, you know. So I start off with just go ahead and attach 2 and swing 12. Actually, I attach 3 and I go 12 because he had minus me. And then I just go ahead and dump everything on Lin for a huge swing for 19 and win the game.